Hello. I wanted to kind of share my story, and I didn't really think much about it before I hit record. Um, but I wanted to hopefully bring some peace and comfort and love and understanding, support to others. Um, this is a pretty difficult time of year for my family. We have 4 out of our 5 children that have special needs, and we call them extra needs. And so the excitement and the changes that take place this time of year cause those extra needs to be a lot more amplified. And, um, you know, growing up, this time of year was always my favorite. We would get together with family, and we would go Christmas caroling, and we would go see the Christmas lights, and we would do 12 Days of Christmas, Secret Santa type thing to different families, and do service projects, and go to Christmas parties and church parties, and just a really festive, fun time of the year spent on focusing on Christ and family. And I just naturally assumed that that's how it would be for my family when I was an adult and a mom. And I've tried over the years to have it be that, and it just doesn't work so well with our family dynamic. And I've had to learn to accept that, and it's difficult still. So I'll give you a little bit of background. My children, I have there are 5. I have a 14-year-old son, I have a 10-year-old son, I have a 9-year-old son, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and I have a 7-year-old son. And so I'll just give a little bit of detail of the extra needs. First off, I struggle with depression and anxiety, chronic. I've struggled with that for about 10 years now. And then my one child I have 2 children with OCD, as well as mood disorders and anxiety. We've got executive dysfunction. We've got possible autism that we're still looking into. We've got emotional delays, emotional disorders, anxiety, a lot of mental health struggles, emotional struggles with those delays. There's some cognitive delays. And so that's just a few that we work with on a daily basis. And so having my own mental health struggles makes it super difficult some days, because if I'm having a hard time or having a struggle day, then it's hard for me to be there emotionally, mentally, cognitively, and even physically for my kids, any of my children, and my husband, but especially my kids who are also struggling. So that's just a little bit about the family dynamic as far as the special needs go. And then on top of that, my husband manages 5 funeral homes. He is also the religious leader in our congregation. We known as the bishop. So those two take up a lot of time, and he does a really good job of trying to balance out work, church responsibilities, family responsibilities. I'm so blessed to have him. But it also, there's a lot that goes into that. So, this time of year, unfortunately, there are a lot of deaths. So work, he has to be gone a lot more. And then there are a lot more things that need to be done towards the end of the year for his church responsibilities as well. So just a lot that goes on. And so, I try to make the season fun. I try to focus on Christ. I try to do what I can to bring the spirit of Christ into our home, especially this time of year, and to bring that magic that Christmas holds. And a lot of the time, I end up feeling like a failure because it doesn't work for one reason or another. We have kids falling apart. We have kids having their 2-hour meltdowns. We have kids having sensory overload. They just can't handle the changes and the excitement. Those big emotions overwhelm them. We've also got some struggles with suicidal thoughts in our family, and so there's been a lot weighing on us the past couple of years with all of that. And it's one of my children that has the suicidal thoughts. So what I decided to do this year was to simplify a lot. And one of the things I did was started at the beginning of November deciding what we wanted to do, what we could do that was simple to simplify our life, but then was also simple ways to celebrate the season, to have fun as a family, to bring us together. And so we talked about it as a family. I tried to do all these traditions with the kids, and they just fall short. My kids don't have any interest. There's too much going on, and I got tired of my heart being broken all the time, because these traditions that I did as a child that I couldn't wait to share with my family as I got older, they don't happen. Or there's a lot of frustration and anger and tears, and it's not fun. And so I wanted to try and make this year different. So I did. I planned in November. I just figured out, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to simplify? Started getting things ready. We talked to the kids about what new traditions we could come up with that they thought sounded fun to do together. So we came up with a couple of new traditions. One being that we're going to make Christmas shirts for each other that we wear Christmas Eve. And then that's what we would sleep in. And so we drew names, and we're creating Christmas shirts for each other. Then the other new tradition is that my husband and I are not going to be buying the Christmas presents anymore. We want to give experiences, which we started that a few years ago. But what we did was we had the kids draw names just amongst the kids, and they get a certain amount of money each, and then they buy for that person. And so they were super excited about that. So that's where we're at with those. And that eliminated a lot of, took a lot of pressure off of me, because I didn't have to worry about all these other little traditions, which was hard. But at the same time, they're participating in the few that we decided to do as a family. And so then we thought, okay, we'll throw some Christmas parties. The kids, that sounded fun. So I got all planned for a few different Christmas parties. We break up the age group of the kids, and so that way they can invite more than just one friend. And well, lo and behold, 3 out of my 5 changed their minds and didn't want a Christmas party. So I had all these plans. I had the invitation made up, spent the money, and only one Christmas party happened. And at first I was upset and saddened, and then I thought, if it's not something that brings them joy, if it's not something that they're interested in, then it's okay. Don't do it. I wish they would have said it sooner that they weren't interested, but I'm not forcing this year. I'm being loving and trying to be understanding, but I'm not forcing things, and it's made a big difference. So we had the one Christmas party, and it was a blast. And one of my sons that didn't want one ended up spending the whole time with us and thoroughly enjoyed the party. So that was fun. And then I did a ornament exchange luncheon with some friends, and a lot couldn't come. And again, at first I was like kind of sad about that. And then I thought, no, it's a busy time of year. It's okay. And so there were 6 of us total, and we had a great time. the kids came, they had fun, and it was a really enjoyable time, small and simple, and that was great. And that's what we're trying to keep it. And, we've been able to feel the Spirit more this year. Our church does something called Light the World, where each day we do something small to focus on Christ. And we've tried to do that over the years, and this year it's been difficult. We've forgotten, but the things are so small that we've been able to still say, okay, we didn't do Light the World, what do we need to do? And we're still able to focus on that, even for a few minutes a day. And so it takes a lot of, I have to continually remind myself that it's okay that Christmas doesn't look like what I wanted and what I had hoped for my family, and that Christmas doesn't look like what it does for a lot of other families. And I have to remind myself that that's okay. And I'm so grateful that my Lord and Savior and my Father in heaven have brought me that peace and helped me find that understanding, so that I can feel the joy and I can feel the peace of Christ in my life more, because I'm not focused so much on what can I do to bring this joy and to bring the Spirit of Christ to my kids, because they don't feel it. And I've been able to step back and keep things more simple and see that they do feel it. They feel it in their own way. And we're going to focus on the nativity. We're going to talk about one person from the nativity each night, and there's a simple book, and to do simple things. And I really feel like that's the focus, and going to be the focus more in our family now, is simplicity. What can we do to keep it simple? We don't need all this fancy stuff. We don't need, our family dynamic does not need too many things going on this time of year. We need to pull it back, and we need to make it more simple. Focus on spending time with one another. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's just at home watching Christmas movies, then that's what it is. If it's at home talking, then that's what it is. I love going to Christmas events, the parades, the parties, the horse-drawn carriages. I love doing that kind of stuff. The crafting. It brings me so much joy, but it doesn't bring joy to my children, which then makes it difficult for my husband and I to feel joy. And so this year, I would say, hey, this is happening. I would love to go. But as soon as all of my kids are like, oh, we don't really want to do that, and I can start to feel that tension, then I'm a bit disappointed inside, but I just say, okay, it's fine. We don't need to do that. And I've been able to enjoy the season more. Again, it's not what I grew up with, and it's not what I had hoped for, but the more and more I'm able to keep the simplicity in my life, the more I'm able to still find that joy, and to see my kids having that joy, and to breathe, and to not have to go from one thing to the next, and to just say, you know what, this is Christmas. This is our Christmas. This is my family's Christmas. This is how we can find that peace and joy. This is how we can feel Christ in our life amongst all the chaos of the world. And it's been special, and it's been very eye-opening for me, and I'm continuing to work on it, as I'm not perfect by any means, and there are days where I still wish my kids enjoyed doing the things that I enjoy doing, and that we could do more, but at the same time, I love them for who they are. And as I can step back and see that, I can see who they really are and what brings them joy, then we're able to, as a family, feel the Spirit of Christ in our home more. And then we can share that with others, which is the true meaning of Christmas. Sharing Christ and His example and His life, and the love that Christ has for others, to share that with others so that they can have that in their life. And that is what I want the most for my kids, to grow up knowing that Christ died for them. He was born and He died for them, for all of us, and that it's because of Him and through Him that we can be forgiven, that we can try again to try to follow his example and to ultimately be together again after death, to live forever as a family and to be with him and our Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother again someday. And that's ultimately what I want Christmas to be. And so I just wanted to share this with all of the families out there who struggle, who feel like the moms who feel like they're failures because this time of year isn't what you had hoped it could be or what you had wanted it to be. To know that you're not alone and to know that you can simplify and that it will become easier and that you can find the joy that you're searching for. And you have to look for those happy moments and live in those happy moments, because the struggles are still there. They don't go away. The struggle's real. The extra needs are real. The bad days, bad moments, they're always going to happen. They're going to be there. But if you can simplify and if you can live in those happy moments, those can pull you through those difficult times. And you can find the strength that you need to be the mom that you want to be, to bring the joy and peace into your home that you want to be there. And, it's a daily thing. I have to do it over and over again. And I have to remind myself. And some days I fail at that and I try again the next day. My sister and I share this thought from the Disney Chicken Little movie, and it's our favorite, and we like to remember that today is a new day. Each day is a new day, and we get to try and try again. And I just hope that maybe this can help somebody, even one person, to know that I understand that you're not alone and that Christ loves you, and that simplicity is key, and that you can feel peace and joy. And I hope that everybody has a wonderful holiday season, that if there's a lot of chaos and struggle, that you definitely can find those happy moments to cherish and to hold on to. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas.